Rwanda's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Christophe Bazivamo, has warned against ignoring hate speech and genocide ideologies, saying it could lead to history repeating itself. Bazivamo stated this during the commemoration of the 31st anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, Kwibuka 31 in Abuja, with the theme, Remember, Unite, Renew. He said the world must remain vigilant and take proactive steps against narratives that incite division and violence. Reflecting on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, which resulted in the loss of over 1 million lives, Bazivamo said the world must learn from the past to prevent similar atrocities in the future. Bazivamo called for renewed commitment to international human rights treaties, including the 1948 UN Genocide Convention. He urged nations to counter genocide ideology and meet their obligations to prevent hate-fueled violence.
We must not forget that Rwanda warned the world once before. The cost of ignoring hate is too great to bear again. This is not just Rwanda's fight. It demands the urgent and concerted attention of the entire international community. This commemoration of today also compels us to speak with clarity about the role of the international community, whose failure to act in 1994 costed more than 1 million lives. Today, as we observe growing instability in the region, Rwanda calls once again for a renewed commitment to the principles enriched and screened in the 1948 UN Genocide Convention and in the UN Security Council Resolution 2150. These instruments impose a moral and legal obligation on all states to combat genocide ideology, judge or extradite genocide fugitives, and ensure that never again is not just a slogan, but a commitment.
United Nations Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Muhammad Fall, represented by Ms. Beatrice Eyong, UN Women Country Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, reminded attendees that the majority of victims were Tutsi, along with Hutus and others who opposed the killings. Fall urged countries to meet their Digital Compact commitments, tackle online violence and hate, and sign the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide.
Today, we mourn the 1 million children, women and men slaughtered in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. This appalling chapter in human history was not a spontaneous frenzy of horrendous violence. It was intentional, premeditated, and planned, including through hate speech that inflamed division and spread lies and dehumanization. The overwhelming majority of victims were Tutsi, but also Hutus and others who opposed the genocide. As we recall how these crimes came about, we must also reflect on resonance with our own times. These are days of division. The narrative of us versus them is ascendant, polarizing societies. Digital technologies are being weaponized to further inflame hate, stoke division, and spread lies. We must learn from the terrible history of the genocide in Rwanda and act to stem the tide of hate speech, stop disunity and discontent mutating into violence, uphold human rights, and ensure accountability. I urge all states to deliver on commitments made in the Global Digital Compact to tackle online falsehoods and hate, to comply with their obligations under international humanitarian and human rights law, and to become parties to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide without delay. On this day of remembrance, let's commit to be vigilant and to work together to build a world of justice and dignity for all, in honor of all the victims and survivors of the genocide in Rwanda.